Hey everybody, welcome to another very exciting episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and to mark this momentous occasion of the 200th episode, we have a very awesome actress, Scream Queen. We have Sammy Morningstar with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
That's good.
Can't wait. It's 200 episodes. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Trust me, when I was doing all these videos, I was like, I didn't know I did that many, but yeah, it was crazy. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us today. And yeah, we'll go over all the good stuff you've been in because you've been in some good stuff. I'm a big fan of certain things you've done, and then there's certain things I haven't seen. So,
Okay, fair.
but before we get into all the movies and TV shows and series and stuff, kind of take us back a little bit. As a child, was the entertainment world always what you wanted to do, or did it just happen to come along and it just sprung up out of nowhere?
So I've always wanted to do it, but I've never even it's always been a pipe dream for me. I never thought it'd be possible. I never put in effort because I just thought those are only for people that live in California. Like I thought that's the only place they did movies at all.
Oh
And I
yeah,
thought you had to know people. So I never really put any thought into it for quite a while, actually. Not until a little over a year ago, actually.
oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I've always liked it though.
oh yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, you put your mind to something, only you can stop yourself then. So,
That's true, yeah.
uh, also, I heard you are somewhat of a gamer.
I try to be. I've just been so lazy lately. Well, what do you say lazy? I've been so busy and everything's been chaotic. I haven't had a lot of time for it lately.
Oh yeah. Any specific games you like to play in general?
It depends on what I'm playing. So if it's on the PlayStation 3, Resistance Fall of Mankind is the best game ever freaking made for that console. I will argue anyone to death. That's my favorite game. Nintendo, I love the 007 James uh Bonfire.
Oh
And
yeah.
then PC is it's hit or miss because I'm still learning on it. I really like Fall Guys. I like Helldivers. Um, I've been playing The Quarry lately. That one's really fun. I like that one a lot.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm just kind of like dipping my toes in every type of game out there.
Oh yeah. Resistance was an excellent game. It's definitely in my top three. You know,
Okay.
uh, the other two are not worth mentioning, but definitely in my top three.
Okay. I was kind of interested to see what beat it out, but like it's just even for the graphics that time period, it was just so great. There was only one level that, well, two that really screwed me up. Like I beat the game twice and then I still didn't get tired of it.
Oh yeah. Uh, I got about 900 hours on that game.
Yeah, I'm scared to even think what I got. Like I pulled so many all-nighters and me and my brother, he'd play with me too. And like we would go to school dog tired, miss the buses half the time because we stayed up the entire night playing.
Oh yeah. All right. So getting into the entertainment world was when you were first kind of making your strides to it. What was your first reaction on your first set?
I thought it was incredible. I've never seen so many cameras, so many people, and I was like, this must be what Hollywood feels like because it was a pretty big set. It was Ash Hamilton's, it was Tales from the End Times, Tales from the End Times, now it's Final Days, and from the, Tales from the End Times. Sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted, but it was remarkable. It was so cool.
That
It was
was an
my first
excellent
time
movie.
wearing contacts, so that was a very interesting thing to do.
Oh yeah, that was an excellent movie though.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. I was a demon in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh, there's so horror is definitely your genre.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So growing up, you liked horror movies also.
Yeah. So my first love and my first hate was Chucky because I was terrified of him. But it was also the first scary movie I watched. And I watched it with my grandma because she was infatuated with him. She had the dolls above our bed and everything. Like, so I learned to love him.
Oh yeah. Uh, I mean that's a you got your Halloweens and your Jasons and stuff like that, but the Chucky franchise, I mean, it holds its own against these, like big monsters.
Yeah.
And I mean, being a child and seeing, like a toy that's supposed to be able to, give you joy and excitement going around killing people, I can see how that could, scare you.
Yeah. And my uncle put real knives in his pocket. So it traumatized me a little bit. Like I would sleep with a clothes hanger because for some reason I thought that would defend myself against him, but
Well, I
not
mean,
smart.
you can always hang them out to dry.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Uh,
And he
so,
just looks creepy too. Like, ugh.
and and the funny thing is with that doll, did it not get creepier as the series went along?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really going to talk about Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky because those were like, okay, you're going way too off into the comedy section, but okay, I get.
Yeah.
Uh, let's talk about St. Patrick's Day: The Sluagh Awakens.
So that one actually, I don't know how that got attached to mine. That one I'm not
Oh,
in.
oh, okay. Well, it was
Yeah,
still a good movie though.
it is. I went and watched it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I do apologize. I am so sorry.
No, that's okay. I haven't been able to get it off yet.
Uh, uh, yeah. There's they came back from somewhere. You play a
Yeah.
townsperson. Now, I realized that you play in some movies that have like some big ensemble casts.
Yeah.
And it would you say it's kind of hard to stand out when you got other people that are also trying to break into the industry or making their strides to it? Do you ever find that it's sometimes hard to stand out for yourself or no?
Um, to be honest, I've never really tried to stand out more than anyone. So I don't really know. I just be myself and hope for the best and hope they like me. Um, it is harder on like the bigger productions because there's just so many people and you're like a little person, and so they don't really pay attention to you. But on the indie sets, it's so much easier for everybody to get their chance to stand out. So, like on Eft, we were having a little moment where we were just kind of chilling. The director looked a little stressed, and when he was walking by, keep in mind I'm covered in my blood and I got my robe on, and so I just barked at him just to try to make him feel a little better. He just like stopped in his tracks and like, did you just bark at me? I'm like, yes, I did. So
Oh
I
yeah.
just try to do random things to like ease some tension, or that's how I guess quote stand out.
Well, I mean, sometimes you need that,
Yeah,
Yeah,
the hair
especially.
helps too.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's like every single role you get, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you're like you said, you're always going to do your best, but are there certain roles that you're like stand out to you in general that that you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm playing this character, or because I I want to say the Red Huntress.
Thank you so much. That one I was actually pretty surprised of, and I'm still surprised each episode. Like, I've never gotten to do stunts or anything, and now we're starting to, and it's still so amazing that they're letting me be the lead. Like, that's just mind blowing.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so cool. I love it. And there's so many people who want that, and I'm like, yay, I got it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it speaks to the character of who you are as a person because you do dive into these characters that you're playing, but when you get certain characters such as the Red Huntress, it's like, now you're throwing your all into it, and we can see that you're wearing it on your sleeve, that you want to put out a product that's awesome for everyone to see. So for that, I'm going to say thank you.
Yeah, that's what's most important to me. Like, yes, obviously I want to look good on camera, but I try to think of what everybody else is saying about it. Like I listen to the critiques a lot because ultimately I want you guys to enjoy whatever you're seeing. So if you guys want more action, I want to be more of a fighter. Um, so what people say, actually, I listen to it a lot, probably more than I should.
Uh, well, I mean that comes with the territory, though. I mean, because you're gonna have your people who are like, "This is awesome," and then you're gonna have your naysayers, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's best to kind of. No, I've never been in a movie. I've never filmed anything other than this podcast, but sometimes I even get criticism on a podcast. People are like, "Oh, that was garbage." Okay, whatever. I still have 200 episodes, so you guys have nothing. I'm just playing. I'm not that person, but
I mean, in a way, you're right, though. Like, at least we're trying.
right. Uh, but you've again you've ran the gamut of characters. I mean, split screen you play Rachel. Uh,
Yeah.
kind of, if you can, in your own words, describe that movie and how your character plays into it.
So it was actually pretty interesting. When I got the lead in split screen, I was just starting to try to get myself out there more on social media. I've been following a lot of influencers and I've always wanted to be one. I just don't have the balls to do it. Um, sorry, I don't know if that's allowed to be said, but I don't
You,
have the oomph to do it. So when I got the chance to play a YouTuber influencer thing, I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. So I got to do that. My character is Rachel. She's a YouTuber and likes to like investigate these little true crimes by herself and see if she can figure out what the police can't. And then it just goes a little awry.
and you can cuss on this show. Trust me, we
Okay.
welcome it. Yeah. Uh, so do you prefer working on shorts, series, or features more than one or the other, or do you like them all the same?
Mm, I guess I don't really have a preference. I like them all so far. The short that I just recently did was with Dalton Richardson, and oh my God, it was so fun because it was like Fallout. So that was a
Oh,
completely different character for me, and I got like the best of both worlds. I got to pretend it was like Resident Evil meets one of my favorite video games. It was just really cool, and it was a short.
yeah. That's I've seen you posting some pictures on that, and you got a pretty red outfit. I'm sorry.
It was so cool. I love it. And half of it's just put together. Like the pants my boss wore for his military reenactments. So he let me use them. Um, the goggles are just like some steampunk ones, and the tank top I already had. And the boots, I love combat boots because I was briefly in the military and I just fell in love with my combat boots. But so I just kind of pieced everything together from all these different backgrounds. So it made it that much cooler.
Yeah. Well, before we go on any further, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, so you got some interesting things that are coming out that I know I definitely want to see. The first one I want to talk about is the Meat Hook Massacre. You
That
play
was
a
amazing.
all right, without spoiling anything, kind of give us a brief synopsis and how your character Alice plays into the film.
It's so funny about Alice again. But how do I want to say that? Basically, I'm just like, it's me and a couple of friends getting ready to go to a concert. We're goofing around, having a fun time, and then we just run out of gas and get stranded, and we go looking for help and find unpleasant people.
That sums it up.
That was so fun. Oh, I cannot wait for that movie to come out. I'm just jonesing for it. It's the first time I died. Oh, crap. Spoiler. Well, it's the first time I got to experience something different. I'll put it that way.
All right.
It was really
Uh,
cool.
you also have Creep Footage 3. I think you're in the night nurse part.
Yep.
Yeah, you
That
play.
was really cool too.
Oh yeah.
It's like a mockumentary, so that's really neat. It's by Kevin. I cannot pronounce his last name to save my life, but he does so good. He's really good at what he does.
Oh yeah. Uh, I'm a zombie freak. I love zombies. So Return of the Corn Zombies. I mean, I've seen Attack of the Corn Zombies, so I'm gearing up to prepare myself for part two. What was it like being on that set?
Oh God, it's amazing. I love Acrostar in general because I did Night of the Dead sorority bays with them too, and they are the coolest people. They are so sweet, professional, fun. They're just amazing. Like we filmed Night of the Dead Sweaty Babes on my birthday, and they even got my favorite birthday cake, the strawberry flavor, for me. It's really cool. But
Uh,
Corn Zombies is so fun. Like Beth helped with the makeup a lot. She's the main one that did the makeup, and it was incredible. Like I had corn stalks sticking out of my head, and it was just
uh,
awesome. It was really cool.
she was actually on a show recently, and she's a
I saw
phenomenal.
that.
Yeah, she's also a phenomenal singer.
Yeah, she's amazing. Session 5. That was her band. She's so good.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna save the Red Huntress for last because seems like seems like the a pivotal point in your career. If I, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it seems like since it's a series, it's going to be more in tune of like we're going to be putting this out there. So we'll save
Yeah.
that for last. But let's talk about Night of the Dead Sorority Babes. Interesting movie. I liked it a lot. Everyone's like, you liked it because of this. No, I didn't like it for the obvious reasons, but everyone thinks there was inventive kills, the story was good, the acting was phenomenal, like everything was good in that movie. So being on that set and filming with those women, I mean, you had some strong women in that movie, yourself
Oh yeah.
included. What was that like?
It was so cool to see all the different personalities and like you can tell that they all know each other and were like a family. So it was a little bit I started off feeling a little bit like an outsider, but SJ, which is he's the writer and everything, and they just like welcomed me in and made me part of the family. But it was so cool to be kitty. It was so cool to be around all those people because I look up to them. Like they have phenomenal careers in film. It is so cool.
Oh yeah.
And I got to be in a movie with them. I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong again, but being a fan of the films and then you getting to be in the films with these people you look up to, or maybe you're just getting to know. I mean, does the fan ever come out of you when you're like in front of them and stuff like not on screen? Because I know you're a very professional person. Trust me, from what I've seen, you've never broken character, which is awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, a couple times it's been really close. Like, um, I didn't know of anyone from most of the films until like the Meat Massacre. I knew of Brett Wagner very, very much so because I love horror. So just to be in a movie with him was mind blowing. I didn't get to see him, but it was still really cool. And then like I've always loved like Death Race and Robert Osardo in general. So to find out he was in F was just it was so cool finding out that there's all these people that I never thought like be able to even say hi to in my life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the best part about the being in the industry though, is because people you have seen in films past are now like kind of passing a torch to you guys.
Yeah, it is so
Yeah,
cool, especially like when you get a compliment from anyone that you do look up to in a film. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me. Or when I started to get followers and fans too, and I've been recognized twice, and I'm like, I know that's pathetic, but it was still so exciting. I'm like, what?
actually no. I mean, call me crazy, but being noticed in public to me would be like the ultimate show of like respect, because it's like you know you're doing these movies, and for you to take time out of your day because I'm a fan and I come up and I'm like, hey, can I get an autograph? I mean, that's a respect out of you, and then or a respect for you, and then most, if not everybody, who's on the independent scene. I mean, there's been a couple people who I know aren't that nice of people, but most of the independent scene, all you guys are so humble and accepting of fans and stuff, and that's one thing that me as a fan I look for is like, who am I going to be able to talk to and stuff like that. And I know we've had this interview set up for what, almost a month now,
Yeah, yep.
and I was like, all right, cool, I want to make this a good episode. And then when I was like, wait a minute, I was like 199, 200, oh, serendipitous, you know what I'm saying? and it's awesome because as a fan now I get to talk to you, and you are making this episode so much bigger than what it is just because you accepted the invite. So,
Well, thank you. That's the type of stuff I love hearing. Like just that I can make people happy and like so exciting.
oh yeah. uh, so let's talk about your experience on Final Days, Tales of the End Time. Phenomenal movie. Like I said, Grandma was the one that really took me by surprise, but they were all good stories. What I know you said you had contacts for the first time, but like what were some of your other experiences filming that you kind of took away and was like, damn, I can't believe I was involved with this.
So the special effects were really cool, and it's just, I mean, everything about it, like all the different people I got to meet, that was really neat. And then just seeing what all goes on behind a film, it's crazy. I have so much more respect for like, so I was watching an Adam Sandler movie, Blended Family, I think is what it was, and
Oh yeah.
just from going from one face to the other back and forth, I'm like, I have so much more respect for how many shots that probably took. Because like I've always heard the expression hurry up and wait, but I never really knew what it meant.
Oh yeah.
So, and everybody's just really, really nice, professional. And when things went wrong, everybody came together to get it fixed. It was just really cool seeing how all the units worked and came together. So it was neat.
Oh yeah.
And I
Uh
love special effects. So getting to play with the blood and everything was fun too. Like
oh
they
yeah.
dared us to take a bite out of the quote intestines. So not very many people would, but I did it. I took a bite out of it.
uh so I don't know if you saw the episode I did with Ash. I normally rate my movies 1 to 10, 10 being best, one being worst. And my original rating for it was going to be a 9 because I'm that person that always wants more, you know. But
Yes.
each story went together so seamlessly. Each character played a part, whether you were background, main guy, main woman, monster, villain, whoever. Every character played so much of an integral part that by the end of the movie, I had no choice but to give it a 10, which is phenomenal because not a lot of movies get 10s, you know.
Yeah. Especially
And
found footage.
oh yeah. And the thing is I mean, I know my rating is just, like my rating, but it to me it's a show of respect. But the thing is like you guys as independent, entertainment, you guys always for the last 4 or 5 years been bringing it, you know. And as a fan, I'm always going to be here to watch, regardless. All right, but let's get into your baby, the Red Huntress. So when you found out you were going to be the lead of this show, what was your first reaction?
Oh man, I was ecstatic. I called my mom right away. I'm like, you won't believe this. And part of me still didn't believe it. It wasn't until like we were almost done filming the first episode. I'm like, oh, they're serious.
uh, you get the, I mean, but there's a lot of people in this too,
Yeah.
you know, and so like being casted as the lead against some of these other people that have been leads and will be leads and stuff like that. Is it kind of like a camaraderie, like a family? You guys are always there to help each other out, whether it be on screen, off screen, whichever.
Yeah, it's definitely really close knit and like a family. And I really expect it because it means they're comfortable telling me like if I'm doing something wrong, they're comfortable telling me about it.
Uh,
So I really respect that. 'Cause it does seem like sometimes people are a little scared to say something like, I don't like the way you did it. Like I want somebody to tell me like, hey, that looks awful. Let's redo this. And they will. They'll do that for me.
uh, well, that's a good thing because I mean, like you just said, you need that forwardness to make it better. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Yeah.
Yep. Like one of the things I went to go do a fight scene, and I've never done that before. Like I've done martial arts, I've been in the military, and I've done corrections training. So I know how to fight, but stage fighting is 100% different. So like they're like, no, you need to like go way out and swing. I'm like, it looks so funny, but you got to be able to have that trust. And on camera, it looked like I was right there when really I was like swinging way in outer space.
Oh yeah. Uh, so I'm gonna be kind of like I'm gonna go off on a small little tangent here. So your name is Sammy Morningstar. You're playing the Red Huntress. That character has a weapon that's kind of at the forefront of those kinds of fights, and that weapon is called a Morningstar. And I think the fact that your name is Morningstar and you got the lead role as the Red Huntress, it was kind of meant to be.
Yeah,
You know,
I kind of thought that too. I'm like, yes. And it's supposed to be like a take on Red Riding Hood. So I'm like, I've always liked Red Riding Hood. I got the red hair. I'm like, it's meant for me.
yes. So was out of everything you filmed, out of all your movies and your, series and stuff, was there one particular scene or one particular effect that you saw that was like, stands out to you as like, damn, that came off so much better than what I was imagining?
So if I had to pick one, I would probably say Day of the Cicada. I am never going to forget that as long as I live. It's a blessing and a curse. Like the makeup was amazing. The scene itself was amazing. But one of the coolest things is people are probably going to think it's like CGI, but it's real bugs that I got covered in.
Oh,
So I had sticky, yucky, fake blood on me. I had gnats that were picking at me because they liked the taste of the stuff that was in the fake blood. But this is when Illinois had this huge emergence of all the cicadas.
oh yeah.
So last year we had like two different breeds all emerge at once, and it was, I'm sure people seen it on the news. It was insane. So Dave Bailey came up and he filmed up here where all the cicadas were. He went and picked a whole bunch of cicadas off the tree, put them in a box, came back to where I was laying on the ground covered in blood, and just started taking them out of handfuls out of the box, throwing them at me while I was laying on the ground trying to be dead. Then they weren't getting rowdy enough, so he started throwing them a little harder at me. And like I'll never forget, there was two. One bit tried to bite me on the lip. One tried to crawl into my belly button. And then I just heard it making that loud noise it does next to my ear. It was terrifying, but from what I hear, it was a really cool shot. So the
Well,
I was told it was the best death scene. I'm like, yes, if I can't live, then I want to have a good one.
right.
So
Well, that's something like, do you prefer, I mean, in order to be a character that like dies, you have to set your mind at that set as like, okay, well, I'm gonna be dead. So is it hard to kind of get into that kind of character when, well, at least was it hard the first time you had to do it so then you can kind of like make it look more believable?
oh yeah, so Joshua Brucker and Hunter Nino, they were the ones that helped me my first time dying, which is not really a spoiler because it's in the very front of the movie. It's that split screen. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, so trying to make your legs move the right way was really hard for me. So they really helped me with that one. So and
Uh,
then after that, I just kind of started YouTubing how people look when they die, which was insane, but it ended up helping me. So, and a lot of the roles I got are more like anxious type evil person, and since I deal with a little bit of anxiety anyway, that thing pretty natural and pretty good. But yeah, dying gets a little hard sometimes.
yeah. So there's something else coming out, the Baton Rouge serial killer.
Yeah.
You play Randy M- Mabrewer and Kim
Yes.
Warner. Uh, what was that like, and what was it like playing the characters?
So that one was that was mentally kind of rough because of what happens to them. I can't really go into detail yet because it's not released, but the those ways that I die were a little they're intense. They're intense. it's
Yeah.
definitely gonna have a viewer discretion. So
Viewer discretion is always a good thing and a bad thing. It's a curse. So,
this one is this one's it's not bloody. It's just it's mentally messed up. Like it's a trigger.
oh yeah.
It's good
Uh,
though. It's really good. And I hope I bring those character stories to life. So we'll see.
you also play Ember in Gig of the Dead. That's an
Yeah,
interesting title.
that one's gonna be fun. That one we're not through with yet. It's still being filmed.
All right. Uh, so without spoiling anything, kind of, if you can, just give us a brief synopsis.
So from what I got, it's a bunch of zombies in a rock band.
All right. I mean, you said zombies and rock band. I'm sold.
Yeah, that one's still in the planning stage. Some stuff fell behind a little bit. So
Yeah. So let's kind of get back on the Red Huntress a little bit. So preparing for the scenes you had to prepare for, and to get into that character in those scenes, did you ever draw from like like instances from other movies or just stuff you've seen, or maybe even like something from real life?
yeah, so like which one do I want to refer to? So I think the just dealing with a lot of stuff in my past has helped me like zone in on like any of the anxious times. And then working at the prison, I had to learn how to be tough and serious. So that helps me on so many things. It helps me a lot because you got to like disassociate sometimes to go into another character.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I have to do to Alice because normally like I'm a sociable person in a way. Like I love being around people, and she does not. She does not like people at all. Everybody's against her, so she always has that guard up, which I'm able to draw on my time at the prison for that. So that helps a lot with it.
Oh yeah. Uh, so yeah. So other than the entertainment field, you've lived a life. I mean, you were in the military. You've done so many different things. So everything combined together from the time that you started, in the military all the way to now, are you satisfied with where you are at this moment in present time?
I'm content with it, but I would like to be a little bit more ahead than what I'm at. I feel like I started a little late, and I'm just hoping to get into more things and more different characters.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
as far as like my day job and everything, all that's been great. I'm really, really good with all that.
Yeah. So if there's anyone in the industry, whether it be Hollywood, independent, anybody at all that you can work with that you haven't worked with yet, is there a specific person or a couple people?
Oh God, there's so many. There's quite a few. But if I got to be in the scene with them, I would absolutely just melt if I could be in a scene with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, I absolutely love her. She is just amazing and everything. I would be in heaven.
Uh, hey,
And
that's kind
then,
of. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, you're good. Yeah,
No, no.
she's my all-time favorite.
Oh yeah. Uh, well, I mean, that speaks volumes to where you are in your career right now because you are a rising scream queen, and she is the original scream queen.
Oh yeah, she's the OG. Her and Felicia Rose, like, well, there's several of them, but like they're my top two. I'm like, I am going to be like that. Like, I want to do more than just horror, but I also love horror. So
Oh yeah.
I'd love to do like some more cop roles and soldier roles, but ultimately, horror is like my favorite. It's my passion.
Oh yeah.
I love to watch it. I have my house decorated in it. Like even my kids know exactly how I feel about it. They love it too.
So outside of Chucky, what's your next favorite horror movie?
Um, so I really like Ghostface. And then I really like The Thing. I know like some people consider that horror, some consider it more sci-fi, but I think it's a really good blend.
Oh yeah.
I really like that one.
solid choices. I'm not even going to complain about those. Those are some real solid choices.
Yeah,
The thing, the original thing with Kurt Russell. Okay, that's not the original, but the thing with Kurt Russell, hands down, is probably going to go down as one of the best masterpieces ever filmed. You
oh
know,
yeah, it's incredible. Like I can't believe it took me so long to see it. I just started watching like the OG classics last year because I was bragging about how much horror movies I loved, and then I realized that it's mostly remakes I've watched. I'm like, oh shit, I'm a fake.
well, no, I mean you're you kind of all right. See, I'm 45 years old, so I grew up with the OGs and stuff like that. So when I see the remakes, I'm like, I have this to compare it to, and I'm like, that's not fair to the remakes. But the generation that came after me got all the remakes. Like, come on, you can't complain about the remake of Dawn of the Dead. That was a phenomenal movie.
Yes. Oh yes. And
And
like I know I make so many people mad with this, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I love the newer one. But the OG one, if I had to pick between the two, I'm picking the newer one.
well, the newer one that was on Netflix, or the newer one with Jessica Biel or Jordana Brewster.
Jessica Biel.
I'm going to agree with you 100%. Yeah,
Yeah, that one.
that was a good one. And I met a couple of the guys who played Leatherface, and they weren't happy when I said that. So,
Yeah. So if they're hearing this, I love them all, but
oh yeah, I mean it's
sometimes there's a time for more special effects and a little bit of CGI. I love my practical effects, but I mean,
oh yeah. Uh, I'm seeing here you play. Now I've talked to a couple of people on this movie, but they couldn't really go into detail because they didn't want to spoil nothing. But you play a character named Smidge.
Barbie.
Yes. Uh, what you can say about the film? Just give us a brief synopsis because I don't want it being, I don't want you ruining anything for anybody, and I don't want you getting in trouble. So,
Yeah. So what I can say for my character is she's a very spiteful, jealous character, and she has her heart set on revenge.
all right.
So that's going to be a very interesting role for me to play because I've never played anything like that before.
you know, so are you familiar with the Amityville franchise?
Somewhat.
All right, so the originals, the original two were good. Anything after that was, like 4 and 5. They were good too, but Amityville has probably the longest franchise because there's a lot of people who use the word Amityville,
Oh
and
yeah.
some are hit or miss. I 100% believe that Amityville Barbie is going to be awesome. That's just from what I've seen of it so far. But there are sometimes people should just let it be. This not being one of them. Like I said, Amityville Barbie is going to be awesome, I think. But you are now loosely confirmed to be part of that franchise. So I mean, how's that feeling?
It's so cool. I really hope it all goes through because I'm really excited for it. I feel like
Oh
it's
yeah,
a another big step in the horror community. So
oh yeah. Uh, so we're coming to the part of the show where I'm going to give you the floor for a couple minutes, and you can plug your socials if you want people to reach out to you or not. That's entirely up to you. Where they go watch your movies, where they go watch your series, or anything you got coming up for the next couple minutes. Feel free to plug whatever you want to plug.
okay. So nobody can judge my username, but it's the same on almost everything like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Steam, all of it. It's all 50 Shades of Little, like 50. Um, but so right now I have Night of the Dead Sortie Babes is out. And I think that one's Fossum. I always get that one mixed up with Fossum or Fandango. They'd have to look it up, but it's on there. The Red Huntress, right now we have episode 1 and 2 out. It's on YouTube on Movie Crew 17's YouTube. Um, we're almost finished with episode 3, and that one will hopefully be going to Tubi, and the rest of them for here out. So that's really exciting.
Oh
Split
yeah.
screens on Tubi. Um, Mad Cow Massacre's out, which is amazing. It's so campy and fun. Who doesn't like a killer cow? I mean, come on. But
That-
those are all the ones that are out right now, and you can find them all if you just Google them.
oh yeah. So I kind of figured you were gonna bring up your name on social. So just to kind of help you out a little bit, I don't know if it is. I do have the movie, so 50 Shades of. I think this one's part 2 or 3, but I was
Is
like, you
that
know what?
darker?
This is my wife's copy, by the way. So
The people at the prison, I worked at the Max prison for 7 years, almost 8. And I had a tower for a couple of months, and everybody was cracking up laughing because if I took a book up there, not saying I did, it was 50 Shades of Grey. And everybody just laughed because I'm this huge horror buff who looks like a sweet angel who reads a lot of smut. So, and then when they saw my username was 50 Shades of Little and everything, they just got a kick out of it.
oh yeah.
That's my
That's
book, man. Oh God, I love that book. And Dakota, I love her. She was like the perfect character. She has so much hate for it, but I think she did really well.
she actually. So I'll admit it. I've seen the whole trilogy. Not my cup of tea, but I was fair to my wife. She goes, "I watch 3 horror movies. As long as you watch 3 movies, I want to." I was like, "All right, never again. I will never trust her again." No, they were decent movies, but again, not my cup of tea. But
It's so weird being a horror actor and like my friends and family don't really like horror. So I'm like, well, that's cool. Well, besides my grandma and uncle, but like my dad's not into it. My situationship's not into it. Like half my friends aren't into it. I'm like, come on, you got to watch it for me.
oh yeah, no, it's
It's just my family down south that's into it. My family up here is not. I'm like, you guys suck.
I mean, if it's any consolation, my wife can't stand horror movies. You know, so when I can convince her to actually watch one, I got to make sure one, it has not very, it's not very much bloody, uh, and not a lot of clothesless people. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The substance kind of took me back on that. I was not expecting all that.
oh yeah. But so what advice would you give anybody trying to get into the industry?
The biggest thing I would say is just go for it. Like you got to have tough skin because you're probably going to get a lot of rejections. And then once you start doing well, you'll have a few haters, but that's how you know you're on the right track. So you just got to be able to handle the word no and criticism and just keep going because it's so fun once you get going.
Oh yeah. Uh, so this being the 200th episode, I do have a couple announcements. One very huge announcement. First announcement is that the script that I wrote we will be accepting auditions at the end of the month. So
Ooh, heck
we're at
yeah. I've been seeing that.
oh yeah. So that's probably the last week of the month. And then we're kind of hoping to start shooting maybe around fall time because it is a horror movie in fall. So, you know. And the huge news is I am setting up hopefully this year a film festival here in Michigan. And anybody who has a film that wants to be in this festival, when it comes, just pay attention to the social medias. When it comes time, I will not turn away anybody. You could be horror, comedy, love, whatever. If you have a film that you want in this film festival, you are more than welcome. So,
Oh, that's awesome. That's so exciting.
yeah, that's the big news. So,
Heck
uh,
yeah.
but
Congrats.
oh, thank you. Uh, this being the 200th episode, Sammy, you get to say whatever you want to say to close out the show today.
Oh God. I'm horrible with goodbyes.
Well, I'll just say I normally end it with everyone stay NC-17. So if you want to say something inspirational, something funny, you want to tell a dad joke, whatever, feel free.
Okay, I got a joke. I got
Okay.
it's kind of lame, but I got one. What do you get when you cross fish with elephants?
What's that?
Swimming trunks. I know, it's a dad joke.
It's a good dad joke because that makes complete sense.
And
That
that
was
is all I
awesome.
got.
That makes complete sense, and that was awesome. I'm gonna go tell that to my wife, and she's gonna hate me forever. But Sammy, you've been an awesome guest. I want to thank you for coming on. You've been more than phenomenal. I don't know if there's a word better than phenomenal, but you are definitely a scream queen. You are definitely a very talented actress.
You're gonna give
You're
me a big head.
That's the point. No, just playing.
Thank you
You're
so much. So it means a lot hearing that.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you're most welcome. And I think the most important thing that I would like people to take away from this episode is just to know that you are an awesome human being. You're a great person just to even have 30, 45 minutes to talk to. And hopefully I can get you back on the show sometime.
Absolutely.
Oh
You're gonna make me cry.
yeah. Well, it's the
Um,
truth, you know. And I'm sorry if I make you cry. If it's any consolation, I make my wife cry with all the dad jokes I tell her. Not in laughter though. She crying because she wants me to stop.
that's my relationship with my kids too. They get so annoyed with my jokes.
Hey, if you ain't got a good dad joke, I mean, you shouldn't be telling jokes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but no, you've been awesome, and I thank you. And it was like I was just talking to a close friend who I haven't seen in a while. So, I thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Until next time, stay in C-17.